Well, Jess, I don't believe Matthew is an introvert, but after that, I no, I mean, like I said, being an introvert myself, we can train ourselves to be more extroverted. Recently I was at an event and they just hosted the great actor Steve Martin, and they said after his presentation, he was to mingle around. And they said he didn't know what to do with himself. He was absolutely lost, and she's, the organizer said he's an introvert,
Yeah.
and was really quite surprised. But so many famous people are, and I think they're successful because of what Matthew talks about. They get a process.
Right, right. Yeah, I think too, he says, tap into what you think are disadvantages. They really are advantages. The
Yeah.
fact that you will ruminate and you'll go through and say, what could have been better? How could I have been better prepared? Did I do my research? Did I figure out who was in the room? Did I Google them? Did I look them up on LinkedIn? All those things that introverts are more prone to do. It was a great wake up call, I think, for a lot of us to be more prepared when we go into whatever situation we're going into. He does talk about the idea that take comfort, at least I did, take comfort in the fact that a lot of really brilliant people are introverts. He talked about Oprah, he talked about Letterman, he talked about Zig Ziglar, the
Mhm.
great sales guy, that they all have that introvert part of them that actually has created that advantage. That was my biggest takeaway.
It was a big takeaway, yeah. And one of the things too is practice. That people who are introverted, if you are that way, or if you're leading somebody or a team that way, people need a working process. And I noticed this with you and I, that I have a process, and I think a lot about it. And so I remember you and I think it was last year or the year before, we were given a presentation together, and the room, we were far away from the audience. The room was kind of dead, and 20 minutes in, you said, we got to shake this up, and you jumped off the stage, and you went, and I started doing the same, and that would be out of my realm normally. But I learned from you is that, look, sometimes you got to break the flow. And as introverts, we love our flow. And so there are ways that we can learn, I think, as well from extroverts and introverts, and create a great team.
Yeah. Speaking of great teams, our wonderful producer, Brent Klein, would you say introvert or extrovert?
I would say just brilliant, genius.
What a great response, and clearly practiced. We want to thank Brent Klein, who really does make our podcasts wonderful, and to Christy Lawrence, who finds us amazing guests, and particularly for all of you who listened in. If you like the podcast, please share it. We'd love to have you come visit our website, thecultureworks.com, for some free resources to help you and your team and your culture thrive. As always, buy our book, The Anxiety at Work. We've got a wonderful new platform called Lit Video Books. Look for us there. And as always, follow us on LinkedIn and follow our gratitude journal, which comes out every other week. Adrian, what else would we like people to
Oh my gosh,
do?
there's so much more. Yeah, Chess, there's that. Yeah, in addition to our wonderful books that we've got, please, search us on wherever you find books. We love speaking to audiences, so come to thecultureworks.com and just let us know what kind of events you have coming up. We would love to give a talk on leadership, culture, resilience, wellness, teamwork, whatever you have. We've been doing this for 25 years. We'd love to get out and work with audiences to really get them to understand how to be better leaders, how to build great cultures.
Yeah, and I would be remiss if I didn't say we've got a wonderful new gratitude journal. In our book, Anxiety at Work, we talk about gratitude rituals can lower your anxiety. It's a wonderful daily practice. Look it up. It's called The Gratitude Habit, 90 Days to a More Grateful Life. Adrian, give us the last word.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. Until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.